The Acolyte finale is here, completing the failure, which is the Disney Star Wars experiment. I had once believed that work could be done to make the sequels make sense, that you could make more content to expand upon the shortcomings of the sequel films. A Clone Wars effect. I now believe that it would not matter, because there's nothing left to salvage here. If the original trilogy, from a bird's-eye, meta-psychological perspective, is about a man accepting the flaws of his father and finding the shred of goodness still inside of him, then the Acolyte is the antithesis to that. Don't save your father, kill your father. A wonderful message from people who have nothing good to say about themselves or the world around them. Leslie Headland, showrunner and former personal assistant to one Harvey Weinstein, stated that she wanted to make a Sith story, that there really hadn't been a pure Sith story before. Well, Anakin's fall was a Sith story. Darth Vader's arc is a Sith story. There are morals and virtues to take away from both of those stories. The Jedi are the good guys, and the Sith are the bad guys. What Headland created here is morally bankrupt, selfish, and I believe degenerate, blurring the lines between what's good and what's bad in an effort to make Star Wars morally ambiguous. The Acolyte has no heroes. It has no villains. The characters' motivations change with the wind. Many of their decisions are still unexplained even after the credits have rolled. Every character's decision is what they want in that immediate moment, and worse, the entire plot of The Acolyte could have been resolved with a couple of conversations. A handful of conversations would have resolved the entire story. I ask you to look around online. Who, firstly, watches this show? But also, who enjoys this show? Oh, the shippers? The Raylos? The Twitter X accounts that have fake names and anime profile pictures? The people who hide behind a shield of a keyboard, incapable of expressing what they actually liked about the show's writing? Who are only concerned with fabricating false and genuinely toxic romantic relationships between characters, provoking problematic dynamics and romanticizing abusive behaviors? Those people? Is that who this is for? The Acolyte is written by bad faith actors. Leslie Headland came into this franchise promising love for Star Wars and that this finale would answer questions and serve as a complete story in case they don't come back for a season 2. That was a lie. There are more breaches to the Star Wars canon than there have been in decades. The show does not end with a resolution. It ends with a cliffhanger, clearly requiring a season 2, 3, 4, and whatever. Headland hedged this bet by coming out in Access Media interviews, proudly stating that the show hasn't been renewed yet for season 2. A bold strategy to get degenerate shippers to get a hashtag trending before the show even ended. Analyzing The Acolyte is like trying to be a detective solving a murder. There are a lot of stab wounds, contusions. Holy crap, they removed the fingerprints. But no matter how hard you look, it's still a dead body, and it's not coming back. Welcome to The Pondering. Let's analyze the series finale of The Acolyte. Hello, my friends, and welcome to The Pondering. I am the real-life fake wizard. If this video brings you any value at all, I invite you to subscribe to this new channel where we're posting videos nearly every day. This is the final episode in the series for The Acolyte, God willing. And while many content creators are saying that they hope that it gets a season 2 so they can make more content of it, I hope it doesn't. I don't want to make more content on this. I never want to see this again in my life. I want them to release a comic book panning out and revealing that this entire series was just Jar Jar Binks at a cantina getting sloshed and telling a tall tale. And so that brings us into today and what we're going to go through together, scene by scene at a time, dissecting what I believe is the no way back point for Star Wars. And that breaks my heart. We open where we left off many episodes ago, where Osha is Vadering inside of the stranger's helmet. What is about to happen is entirely unexplained.
Osha.
How is Osha putting Manny here in the Mind Palace Doom that we saw last week with Mother Anastasia doing that to Torben. How is she doing that? It is unexplained, and don't worry, it'll never come up again.
Miss May, she had her hand outstretched. She was killing Soul.
Where is she?
She had a saber in her hand. I can still stop her.
With what ship? I'm taking mine.
And going where, exactly?
And see who gets to her first.
It makes no sense that they would just work together and go to the same place. Why?
I will contact Master Vanestra.
There is a vengeance on this planet. Now that you and Doja are both alive, I can prove it.
You could have proved it before. You had the evidence before. You had the evidence before. You had the DNA tests. Osha's alive, allegedly. You don't know that for a fact. You've captured May for now. And then instead of following the orders of the Jedi to stay on location on Kofar, you take her to Brendok, which is the site of your crime, to prove the virgins that you already had DNA tests to prove? Why would you do that?
Proof what? That murdering our mother was justified?
What happened to you, to your coven, was an accident.
Everyone in there died because of the four of you.
That's not true. She did lock the doors. She broke the doors so that no one could get in or out. The only way in was to climb over the mountain, which was still stupid. But this is just all miscommunication. Mother Anastasia explodes into demon dust. What do you think a Jedi would have done? In an interview with Leslie Headland, she reveals that, she thinks that Anastasia was turning into the Force in a way that doesn't kill her. What? The writer of the show doesn't even know what that was supposed to be. So how is Soul supposed to know what that's supposed to be if the writer of the show doesn't know what it's supposed to be and we don't know what it's supposed to be? He was entirely justified with taking her out. They're a dark side cult.
Is that I wasn't able to save you both. You and Osha are not twins. You're not even sisters.
This is the first of 2 times that he's going to make a statement similar to that, saying that they're the same consciousness that has been split, right? However, the show is not going to resolve that plot point. Something that is that critical mass, something that is that important to what exactly are they? We're not going to find out. They're not going to tell us. Because I don't think they know either. I don't think Leslie Headland knows either. It's just going to be another one of those empty plot points that mean nothing and go nowhere. In an interview with Leslie Headland, she said that the eclipse was relevant to the Ascension ceremony. And I point that out because we're seeing the eclipse right here on screen with the little title animation. It's never going to go anywhere. I'm telling you now because it still is irking me to the core. We don't find out what the power of 1, 2, or many means. We don't find out what the Ascension ceremony actually did. We don't find out what the brand on May's forehead actually means. Headland said that the witches of Brendok are using a hybrid amalgamation of the Force, magic, and nature. It sounds like a child making up shit on the spot. This eclipse logo means nothing. Nothing. It's Star Wars, so we need to have at least one starship chase scene with all of the outstanding questions. You'd think that we would be focusing on the plot and the relevant narrative that needs to be resolved, all of the questions that need to be answered. But instead, we get a filler space flight sequence that is going to make absolutely no sense. Explain the gopher's motivation. Why is the gopher upset right now with what Soul is about to do? Is it because Soul explained that he took out the mother Anastasia and now the gopher's kind of against Soul? I just had to come up with that on the spot because the show doesn't tell us what the gopher's thinking. See, you want to have a cute creature in there like Chewbacca that just makes noises to communicate. Well, the only way that Chewbacca works is if there's somebody there to have a conversation with him that translates what Chewie is saying. So Han Solo speaks to Chewbacca, and we can infer, based on what Han is saying, what Chewie's thinking. No one is translating what the gopher is saying or doing. So we, as the audience, have no idea. I wish the gopher would get ejected out of the airlock. Why do the ships need to be 2 feet apart to be able to do anything to each other? I don't think he's going to kill her. I think he's going to try to stun the ship. But again, that's me speculating because the show doesn't tell us anything. Why did the gopher sabotage the ship? He has no reason to do that. Hey guys, I really enjoy living and everything, and I really enjoy our time together on this ship. And I know we're in a dangerous predicament, what with all of the rocks in this gravitational field here. I'm going to sabotage the ship now, and I hope if we crash, you know, maybe we survive. If not, it was good knowing everybody. I hope you have a great time. Thanks for coming. That would turn me to the dark side instantaneously. I would look back, you little motherfucker. And I would just force crush. Done. Done. No. You see, what they're flying through is actually not rocks that are dangerous to be flying through. It's tissue paper that they're flying through. It's a gravitational field of tissue paper. Nothing matters in the Acolyte. Oh boy, another ship crash landing in Star Wars. I wonder if she's gonna be okay.
Master Benestra, Senator Raincourt.
Let's talk about time for a moment. You see, the show previously established that time is important. It takes several hours to get to wherever Kelnaka's house was on Kofar. Okay, so that means it's hours to get there, it's hours to get back. All right, you're gonna tell me that these Jedi were able to get all that information, shoot out there, investigate on Kofar, get to Kelnaka's house, get back to their ship, fly back, and get back to Coruscant in time for tea? How long is it taking for Sol and May to have their little talk? 8 hours? This show makes no sense. Movement through time no longer matters in Star Wars.
This must be urgent to wait for me here.
Previously, I had speculated in other videos that I bet he's going to be the Sith Master. He's going to come in as a big bad guy in the finale. And while he does come in the finale, he does come in as a big bad guy. But it has nothing to do with the Sith or being a Sith Master. David Harwood's character is a self-insert of Leslie Headland, discussing what she thinks the Force is. This character is going to go on to say some pretty awful things.
You think my campaign for an external review of the Jedi is a personal vendetta?
I think the Jedi are a massive system of unchecked power, posing as a religion, a delusional cult that claims to control the uncontrollable.
We don't control the Force.
Not the Force, your emotions. You project an image of goodness and restraint, but it's only a matter of time before one of you snaps. When, not if that happens, who will be strong enough to stop him? When you're looking up to heroes, you don't have to face what's right in front of you. I hope for your sake you have this suspect in custody by then. Good luck.
We're in the final episode of The Acolyte. It has not been renewed for a season 2 at this point. You have a chance to tie up all the loose ends for the story that you were trying to tell and end it on a satisfying note. And instead, you waste precious, expensive minutes cutting to a senator who is only there to shit on the Jedi's legacy. Remember, this is the High Republic time. It's a peacetime. The Jedi are supposed to be at their most powerful, not at their most naive. That's just what Disney has said about what the High Republic is. And we're not at the Phantom Menace yet, so we're not at the fall of the Jedi. This is before the Wars. This is before the Clone Wars. You genuinely took time and wrote almost a monologue of this character coming in and trashing what the Jedi represent. That they're not virtuous, they're not morally right, they're not heroes. He makes a good point of directly mocking heroes, looking up to heroes. And I can't quite get away from the idea that this isn't about the show. It's about you. It's about you, the fans. You who idolize the Jedi as heroes. You who idolize Luke Skywalker as being a hero to look up to. This is a slight against heroes and being heroic. There's also a religious argument that could be made there, because the Jedi are, in a couple of different ways, religious in a sense. And while they are flawed, they are still good. And that's something that this show has taken away from the Jedi. The Jedi are no longer good. They are both flawed and morally gray. This monologue, this argument here does not help the show. It doesn't help Star Wars in any way. It actually makes everything cloudier, muddier. It feeds into the point that Palpatine said in Revenge of the Sith, that the Jedi and the Sith are almost alike in every way. I hate this. I hate what they have done. And it absolutely breaks my heart that we're at a place now where Lucasfilm and Disney think that it's a great idea to retroactively destroy the legacy that the Jedi represent. How could I say I want kids to look up to the Jedi? How could I look up to the Jedi anymore when now you've painted them as this corrupt and evil society of warrior monks? Our heroes are dead, and they're not coming back.
Would you ever consider last chance?
I'm not my sister.
You're definitely not. May made that deal without even thinking about it.
So May has always been a killer, negative, dangerous. When she was a child, she tortured small animals, set the fire that burned down the mountain, and she accepted to become a Sith without even thinking about it, we just find out, which would lead her to become a killer and murder 2 people. I find it very difficult to express myself seeing this here. Back in 2012, we saw the first Avengers film, and at the very end, after the credits, they showed us Thanos, and it was exciting beyond belief. Oh my gosh, they're actually going to do it. They're going to make the Infinity Gauntlet. They're gonna do a Thanos movie with all. Oh my gosh, that means all of the heroes we're gonna get and all of the stories. It's not just one film. Like, we're gonna get more. There's more to come, and there's in a lot of ways a clear pathway of where we're heading and why it's important. And Thanos is the ultimate villain to live up to. That's the pathway that we're on, fans. We're going to the Infinity Gauntlet saga. All of those Marvel films were leading somewhere that was important. Those cameos meant something. This doesn't mean chicken shit. See, the Thanos hint was going somewhere, and we cared. We cared about where it went. This isn't about going forward. This is about going back. Showing us this creepy dude right here changes everything about the prequels. Firstly, he's only supposed to be about 15 years old. Shouldn't be a Sith. Secondly, his obsession with life-altering magics and dark side forces is now inspired by the communist lesbian space witches. Osha and May are now the inspiration between the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, further diluting the relevancy and miraculous conception of Anakin Skywalker. This isn't a cameo of something to look forward to. This is a monkey throwing shit at the wall, and it's staining the wallpaper. And it takes us to here, back inside the mountain where the girls fell in the last few episodes. And May finds the room that her sister was in that she lit on fire and attempts to kill her. Back to Osha outside the mountain walls at a panel that Kelnaka had to slice to get the doors open. Now, mind you, this has been sitting here rusting and weathering for nearly 20 years. She hotwired the doors that have not been active for 20 years. Is nothing consistent? All right, we got a lot of stabby fights, and I need to be very real with you. I don't care about any of these fights. I don't care. I have no investment. I actually think they're boring. Not because they're actually boring. In a lot of ways, they're actually kind of cool. I have no interest in them. I have no emotional connection to any of the characters here. The fighting, to me, now feels like filler. It feels like filler because I have no reason to care about what they're fighting over. You know, fights in films used to mean something. Now it's just, oh, no, it's the finale. We need to have a lightsaber battle in order to end this thing. Otherwise, people are going to be mad that we didn't end with a lightsaber fight. This actually doesn't represent all that much. I don't understand why they wrote the show the way that they did, where I don't give a shit about anyone.
He tried to teach me to accept that someone that I love could be capable of this level of destruction. And I failed. I could never learn to calm my negative emotions.
Why was this a reveal saved for the finale? The only other time where she lashes out with an emotion like this is when she has a little feud with Chimere. In episodes 1, 2, 4, 5, we don't get the idea that she's failed to become a Jedi because of her negative emotions. Because she shows no emotions throughout most of the damn show. For a Jedi Padawan to become a Jedi Knight, they have to go through trials. And if they fail those trials, then you get sent to do a really kind of a small job, but it's a lackey's job. It is a little shameful. I would have felt better if they had said something along the lines of because she really wasn't strong enough in the Force to become a Jedi Knight. That would have been more compelling to me because there's a little story you could expand upon there of, well, why isn't she strong in the Force? Oh, well, it's because her Force power is connected to how close she is to her sister, or that, you know, her and her sister share the Force together. So if they're imbalanced, then she's not strong enough in the Force to warrant becoming a Jedi Knight. See, I just invented a better story right now in the 5 seconds of us talking together than this show did in 7 damn weeks. Instead of coming up with something a little bit more convincing, a little bit more exciting, no, it says, oh, her negative emotions were the problem. Big babies. A double breakaway. I gotta say, I'm having a really hard time doing this video. I don't care anymore. I'm hurt. I'm actually, see, that's the thing. I'm fucking hurt. Like, I'm fucking upset. I don't know how else to say how fucking upset I am with this fucking show. Nothing means anything anymore. Star Wars doesn't mean fucking anymore. It means nothing. They have turned it into a sobby Vampire Diaries-esque whiny crybaby bullshit. If we could just go back and retroactively change everything, then nothing matters anymore, and all the movies don't matter, the books don't matter, the comic books don't matter, the games don't matter, it don't fucking matter. Buy product. Just get ready to buy next product, because nothing. Don't read into the details. Don't give a shit about who Max Rebo is. Don't give a shit about that it was originally Korriban and then it turned into Moraband for no reason. Don't actually care about these details, because we don't care about the details. And oh, how silly are you for giving a shit? How silly are you for looking up to heroes like Luke Skywalker and wanting to embody that in your own life? You'll never be a Jedi, but you could take those lessons and those virtues, those morals, and try to live a better life for it. Fuck you for thinking like that. Fuck you for wanting to be better than you are today than you were yesterday. Just another franchise sacrificed on the altar of changing times. Sorry folks, let's get back to the review.
My hatred of you, my grief over our mother. So I never became a Jedi.
Fuck you.
Sol killed our mother. He did.
Oh my god, I'm gonna explode. So, we've resorted to violence against those we are having a conversation with. Again, toxic behavior that shouldn't be promoted. Don't hit your family or your loved ones if they tell you something that makes you mad. Physical violence is abuse, and in some states in the United States, you could go to jail for it. This is not legal advice. This is just, common sense. I don't care about this fight at all. I hope everyone in this show dies. Gruesome, horrible deaths. The f*** did she, Batman? How the f*** did she just disappear? F*** this.
I want him to confess what he did. I want him to face the High Council. I want him to pay for his crimes.
Are you going to pay for yours? You murdered 2 people. You burned down the coven. Eye for an eye leaves everyone blind, lady.
I did the right thing. I wanted to protect you both. You and Osha are the same person. I don't know how your mother did it, but it has something to do with the virgins on this planet.
Which will not be explained any further than this conversation here.
How she did what?
She created life. Your lives. Do you have any idea what kind of power that is?
And you killed her.
After she turned into demonic fart dust cloud of dark side magic. Yeah.
I did. It was the right thing to do.
If it was the right thing to do, why didn't you tell the Jedi?
Without May, there was no proof you were created in this way.
Actually, you did have proof. Your reason for not telling anybody makes no sense. Shit went down with the dark side cult. Why didn't you tell anybody? You could have. This all could have been resolved with a conversation explaining what actually happened.
I kept this from you, so you could have the life you'd always dreamed of. I did everything because I love...
Stop talking.
As I said at the beginning of this review, if the original trilogy was about finding the good despite the flaws of your parents and saving your father, this show is the antithesis to that, despite the flaws your father could have made, or adoptive father in this case. Kill him. Kill him now. The show is morally bankrupt. It's okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. And that's out of character. Like, the way that this show handles like PTSD and guilt is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. I gotta be real with you. It's the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. So Torben it's okay for Torben to off himself because he feels guilty. It's okay for Sol here to let his adoptive daughter murder him because he feels sad because of what he did. Off, show. This is not what a Jedi would have done. I don't buy it that this is what this character would have done here. And I don't think it's a good message. The takeaway is not good. That Osha now being the final protagonist of the show, where May will be offloaded in a few minutes, has come to the resolution that killing your father is a good thing. That's a good thing. See, if they were to paint this like this is a really bad moment, I'd be like, okay, this is a really bad moment. The show understands it and has remorse for the moment, but it doesn't play it off like that. It plays it off like Osha's a hero here for taking him out. Now, all three of our heroes here, are killers. Wonderful. Okay. All right. The show can go itself. So you're going to tell me that Osha has the ability to just bleed a crystal on accident? Well, that goes against the canon that Disney itself has put out about bleeding crystals. It was very difficult for Anakin Skywalker to bleed a crystal. It was very difficult for Ben Solo to bleed a crystal. It was so difficult, in fact, that it split his crystal. It broke the crystal in half. That is why Kylo Ren has the cross guards that sound like they're angry. His crystal's broken. It's an exhaust port for the amount of heat that the broken crystal is generating. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, we get Dagan Gera, who has enough power to pour his hatred and malice and contempt for the Jedi that abandoned him into his crystal and turn it red. It's a difficult process that leads to an explosion. And other times we've seen it happen where it does explode. You mean to tell me that Osha is so powerful that she just bleeds a crystal on accident? Off, show.
You're alive.
Oh boy. Who could have guessed it? Vernestra is the master that threw Chimera away, and he became a Sith after that. I didn't see that coming. How original, Acolyte. You do such great storytelling for us. I couldn't have guessed that. In a million years, I couldn't have guessed that. Yeah, you got me again, Leslie. You got me again.
The Jedi will use me to find you.
I can attempt to wipe her memory, remove any trace of you or me, permanently.
Once again, pulling out new Force abilities because script says so. But what a solution, huh? What a solution. Instead of just all going together to get off the planet, you're going to abandon May after the sisters have come back together. You're going to abandon them. Oh, you're setting up for a season 2 to put May with the Jedi and put Osha with the Sith. I understand. I don't understand. It's an unsatisfying conclusion. We were promised this would be a satisfying ending. Yeah. They cry about it.
16 years ago, 4 Jedi were stationed on the planet Brendok. A conflict ensued. There were many casualties. A rogue Jedi named Soul killed his accomplices to maintain the cover story.
The Jedi are morally bankrupt. I'm shot, guys. I don't have it in me. I'm sorry. I'm going on an hour and a half of recording time right now, which is something I usually point out when I'm doing this. It takes a long time to do these.
I believe he ended his own life.
Technically, he did. So Master Soul's the big old scapegoat. And she knows that the Sith are out there because it's her apprentice, virtually, who's the Sith. And she knows about it. She ain't telling nobody.
With the love he had for your sister.
My sister?
See, I'm still trying to play this off, my friends, like it's an adoptive father relationship. But unfortunately, that's me wearing rose-colored glasses to the idea that it is creepy how Soul sees the little girls and then becomes almost infatuated with them. Like, I'm trying to be nice and play it the way that it's intended, where it's a parental relationship, but the show does such a dog shit job of also following up with that. It is creepy. It is creepy. All right. Then we get these two morons holding hands and looking into the sunset after having committed crimes and murders, and they're not good. They're not heroes. But this is what the shippers wanted. They want the two of them together because it's so cute and adorable. Toxic traits. Toxic traits. He's manipulated her, and she's now a killer. They're both bad people. And then, mind you, you got Plagueis hiding in the corner watching them. Why hasn't he killed them yet? This is going against the rule of two, and if he is a master Plagueis at this point, Chimeras become a rival. He should kill both of them and start over. We also know that neither of them are Palpatine or are in the prequels, so they won't live long enough to make it to those movies. So all of this is for nothing anyway, other than to shit on Anakin Skywalker's legacy. All right, we're almost done. There's like one thing left.
Sorry to disturb you, Master. We need to talk.
Ah, yes. We've bastardized so much this far. We've perverted Star Wars as far as we can go. Wait a second. We're going to throw Yoda in there. Now Yoda is part of the Jedi cover-up. I can't imagine she doesn't tell Yoda. And if she's hiding things from Yoda, I can't imagine why Yoda wouldn't figure that out immediately. He would sense the deception, right? Just like he should have sensed the 15 Jedi getting killed throughout the course of this series. If he could sense the Tusken Raiders getting killed on Tatooine by Anakin Skywalker, should he not have been able to sense all of the trouble going on within this show? It's a real brain teaser. My friends, The Acolyte is a lesson in complete and utter failure. This show is proof that sometimes things need to have a proper ending. Star Wars should have had an ending. We don't need more stories. We don't need new writers to come in with their own thoughts and ideas, pulling Star Wars in different ways. It would have been okay for Star Wars to end. You know, there's that line from the trailer of The Last Jedi where it's time for the Jedi to end. It is. It is. And I wish that they would stop, because the more that they make, the less important everything is. My friends, I want to thank you for watching this pondering episode. I know that it wasn't nearly as funny as some of my past videos, but I am in mourning. This episode really upset me, and I am still upset right now. I need to get through this and think through it, and I don't have all of my emotions ready as quickly as I would have liked to do a video like this, but if this video did bring you any value at all, or you enjoy my commentary, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, create, innovate, inspire. May the contrived destiny of whatever the this with you be with you. And for the love of God, please cancel Disney Plus. Don't give them money. Don't give them watch time. See you next time.